Shalom, this is your Ark. Yah is magnified, and I'm back with another informative video. I titled this video, Out of the Mouth of Three Witnesses. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth, nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, guys, let's get to it. Okay, so now as you all know, I continue to tell you all that you must respond back. But also, I'm a strong believer in the sacred scriptures, okay? I read the scriptures and I'm a strong believer, all right? For those who don't know, or for those who just watching, I am a fact Hebrew Israelite, and we study the scriptures. And the scriptures tell us out of the mouth of three witnesses, let each matter be established. So what we have on the screen is three witnesses, okay? These three witnesses come on the news station, which is actually, I think, Channel 7 News, ABC 7 News, to give their testimony of what happened to them when they missed the court hearing, okay? And once they missed the court hearing, the judge did what? The judge appointed them to be the father by default, okay? So I'm showing you all this video so you all can get better understanding on why I tell you all that you must respond back, and for you all can simply learn from these individual situations, okay? Because these men's life are ruined, all because they didn't know what to do, okay? But not only that, you have a federal agent on YouTube telling you guys not to respond back to the mail and not to show up for court. But in the same breath, he turned around and said that will not get rid of your problem. So if that will not get rid of your problem, then why are you telling them to do that? It just don't make sense, guys. So watch out for who you are listening to, because I tell you all, man, they are well-known federal agents on YouTube who simply here to mislead you all. And you can tell the federal agents because they have the most views. We know that YouTube blocked the truth. So for those that are telling the truth, their view count is not as high as those who are perpetrating and putting out lies, okay? And we don't have as many subscribers as those who putting out false information as well. All right, so YouTube has this thing going on to prevent the truth from being out there. But I'm going to continue to speak my truth and show evidence of this truth, okay? So now with that being said, let's listen to these three men's testimonies and we're going to go over the video. So let's go there.
Let her get the man she laid down with to pay for him. He goes free. I never even slept with her.
It's happening to men across Michigan. They are being forced to pay child support as dads by default.
Doesn't matter. If the men can prove the children are not theirs, Michigan law makes them pay anyway.
But tonight, 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell tells us that may be about to change.
Okay, before we proceed any further, I'd like to state that not only is this happening in Michigan, this is happening in all 50 states and probably all across the world, okay? But let's continue on.
Most people think you either have to adopt or conceive a baby to become legally responsible for a child. Under Michigan law, that is simply not how it works.
I was the father by default.
These four men came to the 7 Action News studios to raise awareness. You could become dad by default. There are a couple ways it happens. Pastor Edward Mack says his previous wife had 3 children. He loved them as his own. Then he realized 2 of them were not biologically his.
You must have been so heartbroken.
Damn, it was a hurting thing. I don't even really want to talk about it because it brings tears to my eyes. Sorry for getting teary-eyed.
Pastor Mack says the betrayal led to divorce. He was shocked when the judge told him because he was married, he became dad by default. He had to pay support for another man's children.
Let her pay for him. Let her get the man she laid down with to pay for him. He goes free. I never even slept.
Okay, so that's one witness, all right? Simply because him and his wife was married at the time she conceived another man's child, they held him as default, okay? But he had remedy of getting out of that, okay? I would tell you all his remedy, but I will save that for another day and another time, for another argument, okay? But as right now, I just want to show you all that listen to these gentlemen's testimonies and understand and learn from them. Let's go back.
Let her get the man she laid down with to pay for him. He goes free. I never even slept with her. I got a lawsuit when I was young, and she basically just said, that's the money I'm going to get.
You all heard that. He never slept with her. He received a lawsuit. What I tell y'all, child support is in fact a what? It's a lawsuit. I did a video in the probably like 4 or 5 videos ago, titled "You Have Been Sued," and that's all it is. It's a simple lawsuit. But you have federal agents on YouTube telling you all to run. Now, if this man would have faced it head on, he would not be in the situation that he is in right now. But because he did not respond, he let it go on and on and on. They held him in default. Now he's the legal father, taking on the legal duty to support another man's child. Why? Because he simply refused to respond back. Let's go back again. Let's finish listening in.
Dude, when I was young, and she basically just said, that's the money I'm going to get. And she got it.
Reginald Whitlow, Anthony Sims, and Carnell Alexander have similar stories. They say women named them out of nowhere. In 2014, 7 Action News told Carnell's story and found the mother. She said she was told in order to get welfare benefits, she needed to name a father. She knew he wasn't the dad, but wrote down his name anyway.
Everything is my fault that I put him through.
Do you think that he should have to pay this money?
No, he shouldn't have to pay it at all.
Then these men missed paternity hearings because they were either sick or did not receive notice. Carnell had proof. He was in prison when a process server claimed he was served at a house in Highland Park. When they didn't show up at court, a judge ruled them dads by default.
Did y'all hear that? Let's go back again.
When they didn't show up at court, a judge ruled them dads by default.
So when they didn't show up to court, the judge ruled them as what? Dads by default. Okay? So, like I tell you all, man, there's federal agents out here who are simply put on YouTube to mislead you guys, man. And you know them by their fruits because they do not provide any fruits of their labor. Okay? They have fake subscriber counts, fake likes, fake all that stuff is fake, guys. You know it's fake because they have no one on their channels showing evidence that it worked and speaking and vouching on their behalf. Okay? There is no proof that their services work. But again, they tell you all to send the mail back. That's a federal agent, man. That's it. That's all. Anybody telling you all to do that, that's a federal agent. So now let's go back one more time to hear exactly how they became in default.
Them dads by default. Park. When they didn't show up at court, a judge ruled them dads by default. They then missed their chance to challenge it with DNA evidence by the court deadline because they couldn't find the women and children.
They wouldn't give me her address because it was confidential.
These men all eventually got DNA tests backing their stories. Too late.
Oftentimes it doesn't make a difference.
Representative Jim Runstead says those DNA tests should make a difference. The Republican from White Lake says he heard the story of Carnell Alexander on 7 Action News and decided to take action. He says this year he hopes to pass legislation that would protect men from being forced to pay for another man's children. Plus, women and process servers who lie should face stiff legal consequences.
This was wrong. Deceiving and lying and obligating people who are not supposed to be obligated to pay bills is wrong.
These men don't just want the law changed to protect others. They want compensation.
I'm getting garnished. I'm getting thrown in jail. I'm getting felony charges.
You have taken our lives.
Change that law.
We're gonna leave that right there, okay? As you all can see, they have ruined these men's life when they could have simply responded back and they would have defeated each and every one of them, and they would have walked away scot-free, and they would have had to put somebody else on the hook. All right. So again, guys, I cannot stress this enough. You all must respond back. All right? I cannot stress this enough. Respond, respond, respond. Face these people head on. Don't listen to these federal agents out here telling you all to send the mail back, or you all will end up like these 3 gentlemen on the screen. But that's all I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, hit me up in my email at yahismagnified@gmail.com. Let's get this right wisdom, this right knowledge, and this right understanding. So with that being said, I say shalom.